Often when buyers are searching for homes with a basement suite, we get into a situation where we're looking at a lot of homes with the expectation that a suite could be put into just about any house. And of course, that's not true. And some of the houses are more difficult than others. And so I want to explain, without talking about zoning and prohibited, what's prohibited by the city. I'm not going to go into that in this video. I just want to talk about the best homes to suite. And not all of them I would recommend, of course, especially with the zoning. We're not going to talk about zoning. We're going to talk about um, layouts, size, and typical home type that will work. Okay, I'm going to start with the properties that don't work, and then we're going to work our way to the ones that have more probability and more chances of working for a basement suite. Okay, so this particular one of the properties is a style that I often see people calling about, and it's more or less because of price. So it's priced at 410, and of course that is appealing to a lot of buyers because they think, well, I'd like to get a two-story and put a suite in the basement. Problem is, it's 500 square feet on the main floor. So I always like to look at main floor square footage if the website shows it, because these have a very small footprint. Now, if you can imagine that if you're thinking about putting in 500 square feet, you got about 10 feet by 10 feet that you lose for the furnace and the hot water heater and the utility room. So you got 400 square feet. It's just not enough. And second to that, the other problem is just going through pictures, you can see where they put the stairs in these houses. So the stair comes from the front, and there's no way to get into the basement from inside. So most people are hoping that there's going to be an access, that they're going to be able to have a private entrance to the stairs from the basement, from outside, maybe the side wall or something like that. But I can tell you from the age of the house, oftentimes why it won't work. So this house was 1997. It seems that a lot of homes built from 1990 to 2000, they really didn't have, the stairway was more or less in the middle on most of these houses, and they didn't work at all for a property to put a suite in. It just didn't work. Your typical two-story with a double attached front garage. This one is built in 1999, and again, I'll say this, that there's the rarity, and I'm going to show you the rarity that can possibly work, but these ones, again, they don't have the access that we're really looking for. Okay, so you can see from looking at an interior picture, we've got a stairway that comes from the middle and comes up from the middle of the house. Anytime the stairway is not joined to an outside wall, that's a problem. This might have the possibility only if you can somehow put an access door from the back, but because the door to the base, the stairway to the basement doesn't come from the front, it's very unlikely that this would even possibly work to go through the side of the house and create an access door that way. So you're left with digging a hole and putting an access through the back or something like that. Okay, now this one is a possible. It's a little house that is a walkout basement, and it is 1335 square feet. Problem is, again, is that 700 square feet on the main floor is basically your basement square footage. Subtract and you get out about 600 feet. Now, that might be good enough for a studio, a kind of place, maybe without a bedroom. You might be able to get a bedroom in there, but with the walkout entrance, you probably could get an entrance into the back. And as you can see, there's a bit of an entrance here in the back, and I don't know if they show us inside. They didn't show us inside because they haven't got it finished down there. Here's an idea of what 600 square feet looks like as the main floor to the basement. You got one bedroom, not too much space for a living area or anything else here, or a bathroom, so it's pretty tiny. They do have a bedroom in there, but that's it, and they didn't finish the rest of it because, of course, it's very small. And as you can see from this photo, it's very, very small, and they didn't even finish it because they didn't feel it was valuable enough to finish the basement and to put a living area. Of course, there's a laundry issue, which there's probably no room for the other two levels to have laundry or separate laundry. So it's really an issue. Laundry is always an issue with trying to do a basement suite. Of course, a lot of people looking for the double front attached garage and the possibility for a suite. And the first thing you got to look for is whether or not the square footage on the main floor is big enough. This is 994 on the main floor, which is really quite good. Having said that, the stairway is in the middle, and so you would have to dig something in the back in order to put a stairway to the basement and cut a hole in concrete, which is very expensive. Most people don't want to do that. Okay, so this one is a possible. Okay, so it's a typical home. It has 741 square feet, which is probably quite small for the suite. But I want to talk about the style of the home and why I would say that this would be something I would come by and have a look at. Notice that the garage is offset to the house, which means that might be space beside the house here for your entrance. And what we're seeing some homeowners do is they're putting in a side door from the house. So they'll have a side door and it goes, this is your basement stairs here, and this is the upstairs. So there's a landing here that's maybe about 7 steps up. And then there goes 7 steps up on the landing and it turns. So there's a possibility on a house like this with this style to actually have a doorway on the side of the house that would come into that landing and then go down the stairs, and that this door could be locked off. So this is the kind of thing you're looking for in pictures when you're seeing houses online. Where's the stair in the house? Is the stair in the middle, or is it, if it's in the middle, does it have the landing on the side of the house with a window? Usually there's a window in there, and you can see that, and it can work. This particular home is fairly small square footage, but as we look again, if this looks to me like this is the garage door is here, which means that the stairway is here and it's on this side of the house, and see how this is offset here, which means that you would likely have a little bit of space, and see, and you're going to need space because you need a retaining wall and you need to go down about, for an outside entrance, about as many steps as the basement goes down. So you've got a bit of a rise here, so you may only have about 2 feet, 3 feet to go down with the landing to get into the side entrance on the side of the house. And of course you have to check to see if there's utilities there, because oftentimes there's a water, there's the gas meter, there's it could be other things coming into the house, so you've got to check for utilities to see if there's any utilities causing a problem there. On a regular basement, anytime you see the stairs going up from the front living area, like right up in the front and going straight, like a grand staircase when you walk in the front door and you see this, you know that there's no access to that stairs from outside of the house. It's not going to work unless you're going to dig an entrance to the back of the house. Most people like bungalows for this kind of thing because 1,200 square feet is a good size basement to put in a suite. You usually get 2 bedrooms, you can get a kitchen, you can have a nice sized living area in 1,200 square feet. And of course, some of the newer houses, this one being in 1994, has a pretty good sized main floor, so that same footprint is on the basement level. Problem is that in these 1990s houses, the stairway was often in the middle, and it didn't come from the side of the house, and it didn't have an entrance even close to it. So it just doesn't seem to work, and very, 1 in a million works. Okay, so this is what's called a 4-level split, and a 4-level split, as long as it has a walkout. So when we see this one, says finished walkout basement at 1,223 square feet. So what that means is that it's going to have 2 levels down, and so you can see here that this one has a walkout door from the back, and this is from the 3rd level, and it has the bedrooms in the back. It's not the best house to have. Your kitchen doesn't fall into the backyard to barbecue and get to your backyard, and this is really your access to your backyard. But this does work with a suite because you've got 2 levels down, and in this particular home, it already has a kitchen. So they were able to put this, and this level goes up to the main living area, and although the stairway doesn't position itself correctly to do much, but it does. You can put a door here, and then of course you've got a separate living area. And usually if these things are big enough on the 3rd level, if it's 1,200 feet, it'll be 600 feet here, and you can have a good sized living space. You can see it here, it's pretty good. And then you could put the basements below, and the bedrooms below, and then maybe a bathroom down there, and that would work. And as opposed to 3-level splits, they do not work. 3-level splits do not work when it comes to doing a suite. This is 535 square feet on the main floor. It's going to be 598 on the second where the bedrooms are. And then it only has the 500 feet left over on the 3rd level. And really, it's a small house. Most people don't realize that. A 3-level split has to be a very big home for it to work. This one actually did have a suite, and you can see they created an entrance. Now this entrance probably cost them $10,000 to put the entrance in, and then they put this little suite in there. And my question would be, is it really worth it? When it comes to the value of a house, it's got a tiny kitchen, a little wee 1-bedroom, but this is super, super tiny, and they made it look as big as they could for pictures. But I mean, we're talking 500 square feet, and they had to dig the entrance in. there's better homes to make suites out of than this one. That's all I could say. You could use something that is a little bit bigger, and of course, if you're gonna put all that expense of putting suite in, you're gonna have to worry about how much you're gonna get for rent. If you're gonna put a $10,000 entrance in, and the kitchen and everything else, the cost of the renovation, I would say maybe it's not the best highest use for that kind of property. There's better properties to work with. Okay, this style of home built in 1974. Now, this is the style built from 1960, 1955 until about almost 1980, maybe early 80s. And it's a typical bungalow. It's 1,000 square feet, so it's a 1,000 square foot basement. And what you'll find with these particular styles of homes is that they have a front and a back entrance dedicated. And what we've always found is that it was easy to put a door in the back and to create the access door. And as you can see, this one has a kitchen in it, and like looks like a full kitchen. And of course, the back door is right here, so you can see that. I mean, the upstairs tenant uses the front door, and the back basement tenant uses the back door. And they're easy to lock this off. And there's a stairway that goes either straight down from here, and there's a side door or another door that goes into the kitchen. That's how they were designed. And they fit very, very well with having the suite in the basement. Here's one of the examples I can show you of how the entrance comes in the back. So it comes in the back, and there's a door here. So there's a landing here, and it goes straight down the stairs behind the kitchen. So this can work, actually. These layouts are great. Now this is the bi-level style of home, and it has basically, what's nice about these homes is they have nice big windows in the basement. That's what everybody appreciates about the bi-level. The only negative with these ones is oftentimes the stairway comes right up through the middle, and they're very hard to section off for the basement. So essentially there's 6 steps that go up and 6 steps that go down. And you can see the entrance where it comes in here. So you'd have to somehow build a wall, or you'd have to put a door at the bottom. And they're not as ideal only because usually this is the only stair to the basement. There's the odd one that was built that had a stair from the back somewhere, but that's a more of a waste of space in 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, and that's what they all are. So unfortunately, these ones rarely work out well, only because people have to build a wall up here, and then they have to combine the front entrance of the house. The back entrance doesn't go down to a stair. The back entrance generally goes upstairs into the kitchen, and there's no stairway to the bottom. Okay, now this is one of the later style homes, and this is a home built in 2022. Okay, and so this home here, it has some things that can work. Now, when I look at the entrance coming into the house, it's on the left. It's on the left as you face the house, and they put the stair right behind it, and then this is the stair going downstairs. So again, there's a landing on this house that goes down into the basement. So this is a style that can work. What to watch for in this particular style is watch for how high this landing is on this side. If you have 2 steps, that means that you're going to have to dig further deeper to get into the basement from that side and to put a side entrance in. Also, you have to look for the width here. How much space do you have? If you've got the typical meter, that's likely not enough to get a door in, unless you don't need to put any retaining walls in. So if there's 6 steps coming in and the house is built higher, then you can dig part of the concrete out, and you don't actually have to go down and dig an entrance with a drain in it. Now, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Look at this particular home. So it's got a sidewalk here, which means it's a corner lot, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up. This is probably going to be just a window into the front entrance, and then you probably have your stairway here. And of course, even if you had to dig down, you have lots of room to access the side. You're not trapped in by the neighbor and prohibited that way. So this might lend itself, if the stairway is on the side, to being a better probability to put an entrance in on a bigger 2-story. Of course, this is probably your easiest property, is the bigger 2-story with a walkout basement. There's no entrance to create, and this one's 1,000 square feet in the basement, so you've got lots of room to make it work, and it's the easiest option. Of course, there are always the parameters to worry about, is where plumbing is and where electrical is and everything else to create your bathroom and kitchen and everything else. Again, I'm not talking about whether it's legal or not legal. Most of these are not legal situations. But I'm just talking about the situation is what could happen, or which properties would be the best. If you've got other suggestions, or if you want me to check out a property for you to see if it would be possible, you can always message me through my website or send me a quick message. I'd be happy to check it out online before we go. If you're ready to search for homes right now, just click on the link in the description below. Or if you would like to know more about home prices in a particular segment, maybe you're interested in apartments or townhomes, or whether or not a finished basement is worth more than an unfinished basement and how much, the difference between the prices of walkout basements. I'm doing all kinds of videos on an ongoing basis. And if you've got a specific need, you can always shoot me an email or send me a message to the website, give me a phone call. I'd be happy to do a video on your particular home. If you're a seller or you're a buyer that wants to know the value of a property, I can certainly analyze it right here and give you a video report online. Thanks so much and have a great day.